Hey guys, this is Mark. In this video, I will talk about user roles, which is one of the most important concepts in the realm of security in the Backendless platform. It's still part of user management because roles are directly related to user records and user accounts, but it is the cornerstone of security. And for security, I plan to have a whole separate training course where we talk about nothing but security for your data, for your files, for your messages, for your applications. But for now, let's just talk about roles. So a user role is a concept that you can actually create and manage and see in Backendless and assign specific permissions and restrictions that define what any user who has that role can or cannot do. To see a list of the roles available in your application, you would navigate to the Users screen and then select Security Roles. Whenever you create an application, there is going to be already a set of roles that application comes with. Any role that you will see in there is going to be a system-level role. But you can create your own custom roles and assign them to users. How you assign them to users? You can do it either with console or with the API. In this video, I will demonstrate assignment of roles using Backendless Console. A separate video, there will be a separate video where I talk about assignment of roles using the API. So, as you can see, these are different roles, and many of them will have the name of an operating environment with the word user. So here we have Android user or .NET user or iOS user. There is also not authenticated user, and there is authenticated user. So let me just describe what these roles mean. For the ones that have the actual operating environment, such as Android user, .NET user, iOS user, those are security roles that are mapped to API keys. What does it mean? Well, in Backendless, if you were to go to the Manage section, and the first one, this first subsection is going to be App Settings, you will see that it includes a lot of different API keys. And as you can see here, there is Android API key, iOS API key, REST API, all kinds of different keys. And also you can create custom keys. I'm not talking about custom keys yet, although I do have a couple of keys here. So what these keys are for, they're not necessarily to secure your application. They can be used in a specific implementation of your app. Let's say an Android app could use the Android API key. And iOS implementation of your app could use the iOS API key. And this is not for security. A lot of people get mistaken and think, oh my God, I need to hide this API key. You don't. Security in Backendless does not evolve around hiding the API key. And those keys are actually used to identify the type of user for analytics purposes. So when a API request comes in, and it uses an Android API key, we know that this comes from an Android application. And then in the analytics, you will see that these many users made that many different API requests, and they were Android or iOS or JavaScript or REST. So whenever a request comes in with an Android API key, Backendless will automatically assign Android user role to that request. And then that role in turn could have a set of permissions. So you could say, well, Android users, you cannot retrieve data from such and such table or such and such directory. But iOS users, you can or cannot do this and that. So those are the restrictions that you can apply. And those roles are system level roles that are assigned dynamically to the currently logged in user in the backend system. Similar things happen whenever you have a hardwired link between a specific user and a specific role. And any permissions that are assigned to that role will also be enacted whenever API request comes in. And we know that the currently logged in user has a specific role that you assigned to that user, and that role has a set of permissions. So the point of what I'm saying is that roles will have a set of assignments as far as permissions are concerned. And whenever API requests come in, we're going to basically take all those assignments from every single role that the user has and then figure out what that user can or cannot do based on what those roles prescribe. And that's going to be the essence of enforcing security in Backendless. It can get very complex because you may have multi-layered system of roles. There are system level roles. There are custom roles. And figuring out what it is going to be may be quite challenging. But if you understand how the security system in Backendless works, it makes perfect sense. All right, but again, in this video, I'm not talking about security. I'm just talking about what roles are. So here you can see all of these roles. Whenever you select a specific role, you can see the permissions at the highest level that are associated with that role. By the way, whenever a request comes in, and let's say there is no user associated with that request, user hasn't logged in, then the role that will be assigned is called not authenticated role. So this way you can restrict access to your data for anyone who is not logged in. And that would be as simple as denying requests for the not authenticated role. When a request comes in for a user that is logged in, not only that request will have all the roles associated with that user, there's also going to be a system level role called authenticated user. So this way you can make a lot of decisions based on that. Okay, here in this list of all the roles, I do have a couple of custom roles that I created. So one of them is, let's say, superhero, and the other one is villain. And then to create a role, you simply click add role, type in the role name, and that role will be created, and it will have a whole tree of all the permissions. So given that I have these two custom roles, superhero and villain, how do we go about assigning that role to a user? There are two different ways. One of them is to use Backendless Console. So for instance, let's select Wolverine, Batman, Aquaman, Thor, Iron Man. These are superheroes. So, there's also Spider-Man, Captain America, Dr. Octopus is evil. So here in Green Lantern, they're all superheroes. So if you select the ones that you want to assign a role to, then click User Roles menu and select the custom. Well, this is going to be a list of all the custom roles. So these are superheroes. Click Save. That's it. So all of these users that I have selected now are associated with the superhero role. Now, for the other one, Dr. Octopus, he is evil, so we will select the villain role. And that's it. So at this point, when those users log in, anything that is allowed or denied to those specific roles will automatically be enforced by Backendless. This is not the only way to assign roles. The other way is to use the APIs. And that typically happens, let's say you have a registration form for superheroes and a registration form for evil or for villains. And then when those requests come in, you can say, okay, well, this came in from a registration form for superheroes. Let's assign a superhero role. Or in the more real world application, you could have registration form, let's say for a workout gym. And then you could have registration for regular customers and for personal trainers. And then this way you could assign different roles. So no matter what the scenario is, there are two ways, using console and using the APIs. And once the association between a user and a role is in place, the rest is really just enforcing the security policy that can be configured through Backendless Console or using actually the APIs. But all of that, everything related to security, there will be a separate course that you can go through to learn how Backendless security works. For now, that's all I wanted to talk about, just introduction to user roles. Thank you for watching, and as always, happy Backendless coding.